For starters, we'll be going over some stretches that you can do for your neck. So a nice simple one to start out with is doing simple neck rolls like this. Being sure to go both directions and keep the body nice and balanced. However, if you do happen to have a towel with you, you can start utilizing it for this movement already. Simply put it around your neck. I like to put a little bit of tension into it. And then as you kind of roll it out, feel the different positions, you can feel that it does access your neck a little bit different and give a bit of a deeper, different type of stretch to it. Along those same lines, you can simply put it over the back of your head, pull it down like that and get some nice stretching in there as well. You know, of course, this could be done just simply with your hands like this, but if you test it out, you'll feel that it actually does kind of access the different parts of your neck a little bit differently. Another cool one to do is you can put it around your neck, hold it out in front of you a little bit, and then you just rock your head back and forth like that. You can even give like a little bit of a neck massage with that. And then to get some good neck extension and spine extension on it too, you can kind of put your arms out straight, look up towards the ceiling, and hold this. This one tends to feel really good and relaxing. Next up, we'll be moving on to some of the fancier stretches that you can do for your neck that utilize the towel. So for this first one here, you want to cross your arms, right? And you want to make sure that the arm that is closest to your body, right? I like to hold high up on it close to my neck as opposed to holding it low down here. But you know, when you're playing around with this movement yourself, experiment with different positions and see what feels better for you. But I like to hold pretty high. And then with this other hand that's on top, I kind of come at it from two different ways. One is you go more across your chin here, pull down with this hand closer to your body. Also good to kind of sit up straight and get off of the backrest. And pull across your body with a nice deep stretch. And then the other way to get at it is you go up more towards around the ear. And pull that in and get a nice deep stretch along the side of your neck. The last stretch you'll be doing for your neck that utilizes a towel is the fanciest looking one. So for this one, you want your arm out to the side, elbow bent with your hand facing up and the towel draping behind your elbow. Grab it with your opposite hand, pull it up around the neck, make it kind of tight so you eat up some of that slack. And then for this hand that's facing up, you bring it in front of you, bring your elbow down to cinch it tight and open it up like that. So it really sinks this shoulder down nice and low. This one over here is just gonna give you something to kind of hinge with your neck and stretch out over it like that. And you can play with different positions of your head and then it gets the stretch a little bit different ways. Moving on to some stretches that we can do for our shoulders, upper back, and chest. And for these stretches, I really only utilize a towel for one of them, that being the chest stretch. However, this is a very important one because you figure if we're at our desks all day working, right, we're kind of hunched forward, kind of closing off our chest area. So to go through different exercises that really get you to open up can be very beneficial. So for this one, you simply grab your towel, reach it up over your head, and pull it back to get that nice stretch in there. And then playing around with the distance between your hands makes this easier or harder, right? So like here, I'm pretty much screwed. Can't get too far back as I move my hands further out, it becomes easier. Then if I go really far out, it's even easier yet. So that's a great one. Moving on to some stretches that we can do for our shoulders. And these are all gonna be stretches that I'm sure we have done before at some point in our lives. So what I mostly wanna highlight here is how there's slight variations that you can do to it that end up accessing slightly different parts of your shoulders. And so there'll all be variations of something like this, right? One arm going across your body and then the other arm pulling. So one way is you come from above the arm that's going across your body, grab above your elbow and pull. Another variation is you come from underneath your arm, again, grab above your elbow and pull it across. A slight variation to this that I actually like a lot better is instead of pulling directly across, you want to pull your arm kind of down like that, have it be more against your chest and pull that. And that actually ends up accessing kind of like a totally different part of it, more like this front end. Then you can also, instead of grabbing it with your hand, you can kind of catch it with the crux of your other elbow. I like to get this hand that's catching the elbow and sink it into like my shoulder over here and really pull that one deep across. That really works quite well. And then the final variation is you hook your neck like this. Again, do the elbow one and then you just pull that across and that gets it in a slightly different way. And then while we're at it, you might as well throw in a nice lat stretch Oh, as well. That felt good. The last couple stretches that we'll be covering, as we've been talking about different stretches that we can do for our shoulders, chest, and upper back, we'll be targeting upper back, and these are two really good ones. So the first one is arm out in front of you, palm up, and you want to catch your fingers like this and kind of pull it. And this actually is a great wrist stretch, which we'll be talking about here next. But pull it like that, bring it across your body, rest your elbow on your thigh. If not, you can kind of hurt it. And then just lean forward, in like that. Oh, it gets a really good stretch, like along your rhomboids and upper back. And then the final one will be, we lean forward, grab our ankles. You can kind of mess around and maybe grab higher up on your calf if you want, but for me, I like the ankle the best. Have this arm be nice and loose, keep your shoulder loose over here. And then with the other arm, you're gonna put it into the crux of your elbow on your forearm and just lean into it. Kind of twist up this way can kind of help access your rhomboids a little bit better. Moving on to our last batch of stretches here. This time we'll be focusing on our wrists. The first thing I want to point out though is that there's actually a pretty big difference between doing your stretches with your arm here bent next to you versus with your arm being out in front of you. Generally speaking, anytime your arm is out in front of you for these wrist stretches, it makes them deeper. So here are some quick ones you can try out. So starting out with your arm next to you, have your hand open, palm facing down, grab your fingertips and pull it back. You can also make your arm straight to make it deeper. Then we can do the very similar stretch, but in reverse essentially. So arm next to you, palm facing up, grab your fingertips, pull them back, put your arm out if you want it to be deeper. Then to address this outside portion of our forearm, starting out with your arm bent, palm facing down, but instead of pulling our fingers back, we're gonna pull our hand downwards. And for this one, I like to grab this kind of meat of my hand by my thumb, and you pull it and you get this nice stretch right along here. And this one makes a really big difference. Put your arm out straight and you can really feel that stretch. This one, you can actually even do it without grabbing your hands at all. You can just make a fist and then kind of like turn your wrist downward and out like that and get this nice stretch in right over there. And then the final stretch we'll be doing will be targeting our hands more so than our wrists. So for this one, palm facing up, grab your thumb and kind of pull it out like that and you get this nice stretch through your palm. And yes, even this one too gets deeper if you make your arm go out straight. Here's one final bonus stretch I thought I would throw in here that specifically targets your low back. And at least for me, this was a huge game changer. I have a lot of low back issues, and years ago it got so bad to the point to where I was stuck on the floor one day with like shooting nerve pain. So I finally went to the doctor, saw the physical therapist, and then the physical therapist ended up recommending this stretch for me, essentially because my spine extension was terrible. So all this is like a fancy version of upward dog. So what you're gonna do is you want to grab your towel, lie down on the ground, keep the towel over your low back area and put the other ends out here in front of you. Then you gotta play with the distance a little bit, but basically you're gonna hold the towel down with your hands and do a push-up. And then what it's gonna do is it essentially cinches your hips down to the ground. Like I can move my hands back a little bit. And you get a really nice stretch into your low back and can really help with spine extension stuff if that happens to be one of your problems.